Let's see, any other notes? Well, just in general, I think everybody here has done this class with me before, but the invitation is always to make the practice your own. So if anything that I'm leading doesn't work in your body today, if you're dealing with some real tightness in shoulders or hips, please modify, find something that does feel really great and is opening in a way that is nurturing and not causing pain or harm in your body. So I will try to give those invitations as we go along, but please, you're your best teachers. We're all our best teachers, so feel free to modify as you see fit. So let's start today by just finding a comfortable seat and allowing your eyes to close and settling in wherever you are. I'm going to just mute everyone. But as I do that, just find your breath and feel your breath entering in the back of your body, in your side body. Feel your natural, easy breath. No need to force here. But feel your breath entering the side and back body in a way that may not be your customary way of breathing. Maybe a little more full and deep. Allow your shoulders to settle on your back. You may lift your shoulders towards your ears and then just very gently allow the shoulder blades to settle on the back. A little engagement. Feel your straight, tall spine. Feel that easy breath filling you. You may even begin to feel a slight pause at the top of your inhale before the breath pours out on the exhale. And then a slight pause at the bottom of the exhale. Not forcing here. Everyone's pace and comfort level is different. Just find a mindful breath pattern that is easy, comforting. Full. So simple, and yet we go through most of our day breathing just high up in our chest with no awareness to our breath, with our mind spinning in a million directions at once. So whenever you remember throughout the day to just take this pause, find your straight spine, find your shoulders settling on your back, finding your breath entering your low belly, side body, back body. We're repatterning the mind away from obsessive thought patterns and into a more mindful way of being. Even if it's just a fleeting reminder that this is possible. It's still the first steps to repatterning. I invite you to come back to this natural, easy breath throughout our practice today. If you find yourself holding your breath or clenching, come back here. And with our practice focus on hips and heart today, we'll be inviting breath into the hips and heart area. We tend to hold emotion in our hips, be feelings of guilt or shame or past. And bringing movement and flexibility and breath back into the hips allows us to let go of these strong emotions, make room for new, healthy movement. And I've been drawn to thinking lately about the heart. We're being called to bring our hearts into the world right now in a new and different way. And thinking about even that movement of bringing shoulders to ears and allowing the shoulders to settle back on the back, shoulder blades coming together behind the heart. I'm reminded of what a strong foundation our hearts have. They're held like in a nest, with the lungs supporting and surrounding the heart in the back and the sides. And then our ribs and our spine behind that. All this nurturing, both strong structural foundation supporting us through our bones, and the deep nurturing of our lungs, bringing life and breath, and all of the soft tissue and fascia, blood vessels, feeding, nurturing, supporting our hearts. This nest can be an invitation to bring our hearts into the world in a new way now, trusting that even within our own bodies, we have the foundation and the strength to take risks, to be vulnerable, be willing to learn. We'll play with this today in our class, feeling the support and foundation, the nest of our hearts, and allowing that, all that good nurturing to also help invite release in our hips. We'll open our practice with these words by John O'Donohue that I shared at the beginning of the pandemic, but have much relevance again right now. The poem is called For the Interim Time. When near the end of day, life is drained out of light, and it is too soon for the mind of night to have darkened things. No place looks like itself. Loss of outline makes everything look strangely in between, unsure of what has been or what might come. In this wan light, even trees seem groundless. In a while it will be night, but nothing here seems to believe the relief of dark. You are in this time of the interim, where everything seems withheld. The path you took to get here has washed out. The way forward is still concealed from you. The old is not old enough to have died away. The new is still too young to be born. You cannot lay claim to anything in this place of dusk. Your eyes are blurred, and there is no mirror. Everyone else has lost sight of your heart, and you can see nowhere to put your trust. You know you have to make your own way through as far as you can. Hold your confidence. Do not allow your confusion to squander this call, which is loosening your roots in false ground, that you might come free from all you have outgrown. What is being transfigured here is your mind, and it is difficult and slow to become new. The more faithfully you can endure here, the more refined your heart will become for the arrival in the new dawn. So, if you've been sitting and need to change your position, you can do so. We're going to start with just some gentle neck rolls here, allowing your chin to drop to your chest, and then your left ear can come to left shoulder. Just in your own time, chin comes back to chest, right ear rolls to right shoulder. Adding any micro movements here. Your chin might rotate up and down. Find a particularly sticky spot. I like when I find a really tender area, I like to breathe, maybe do some shoulder rolls. Arm come free and make circles. Just really listen in here. You might want to keep your eyes closed so it's easy to really feel what your body is calling for. The relationship between the neck and shoulders is so close, right? That just moving one area calls for movement in the other. And allowing that movement to slow, you might bring your hands to your so a little cat cow from the seated position. Inhale, chest forward, and exhale. As we lean back, hips back, belly. Exhaling, feeling the ribs and the lungs wrapping around the heart, really creating that nest.
Sheila, you're breaking up.
Case here, adding this forward and back movement to the spine. Inhale brings you forward, exhale brings you back. When you're On your next exhale, really allow yourself to feel the traction between your arms and your shoulders here. Gently, you might just do some little rocking motions to get into some stuck spaces. I have some very stuck areas in my shoulders right now. Mentioned, don't be dismayed if you see the dark cupping mark on my shoulder from acupuncture yesterday. There. So on an inhale, let's lift both arms, and exhale, right hand comes to the mat, side bend to the right, feeling a nice opening from your hip through across your ribs, through your shoulders. Inhale to center, exhale, right arm lifts, side bend to the left. Again, moving at your own pace here. Inhale brings you up, and exhale brings you into your side bend. You might want to add some circles with your arms here, really inviting new prana, new energy, blood flow into shoulders and side body. Switching sides when you're ready. Moving into what your body's wisdom is calling for. And coming back to center, and inhale, we'll lift both arms, and exhale, we'll twist to the right. So right arm comes down behind your hips, left arm to your right knee. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, find your twist to the right. Be careful not to over twist here and really go too far. Find that sweet spot where you have nice engagement. You can feel the twist in your spine, but you're not overdoing. Over that right shoulder. I like to, on an inhale, bring my gaze over my left shoulder. Different twist in the neck, so you've got a double twist happening in the spine. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, finding gaze to move towards the left shoulder. Inhale, gaze to move. Exhale, over the right shoulder. Now let's add a little different movement here. Just inhaling the left hand up, side bend to the right while the right hand is still on the left knee. Then the left hand's going to come down to the right knee. As the right hand releases, right hand lifts, sky, side bend to the left, kind of curling the torso down as the right hand meets the left knee. Just doing a little switcheroo here, warming up into side body, but also you might start to feel this in your low back. Switching arms, I have my right arm lifts, and then bending to right hand to left knee. Left arm lifts above, side bend to the right as my left hand comes to right knee. Inhale, center. Pausing here, allow the eyes to close. Noticing how those first movements landed. Finding that easy breath. Feeling the ribs expand on the back side of the body. And then leaning back, hands come behind and feet then come out in front on your mat, about hips width distance apart. And we'll just start with some windshield wipers here, dropping my left knee towards the ground, and then back to center, and then right knee towards the ground. If you have a lot of sensitivity in your hips here, your movement might just be very gentle and very mild on that side where you're really feeling it. Go nice and slow. There's nowhere to go here. I find I'm always surprised at how hard sleeping is on the body sometimes. You think it's all this, but I often wake up tight, especially in my hips. I love to sleep on my side. So, just inviting that movement in. Then back, keep that right hand on the ground, left hand comes to left hip, and just inviting some rocking in the left hip. Rocking my pelvis back, left side, left hip is going to the ground, and then lifting my right knee. You might even close your eyes here. Feel into this. Slow it down so you're feeling areas that you didn't realize. Getting lubricated. And then we will let the left hand reach back towards the left foot, and right hand is planted about 6 inches in front of the right thigh. And on an inhale, if this works in your body, we're going to sweep that left hand up, reaching overhead, nice long side bend from the knee through the hip, shoulders out the left fingertips, and exhale, right hip comes back to the ground. A few more times. So inhaling, sweeping and lifting like you're moving that hand through honey. Really nice breath added into the hip area. Exhale, brings that right hip back down. Inhale, lift. As you lift this time, feel your heart opening. Feel that strong support behind the heart. Get your heart reaching out into the world. Exhale. Let's bring the left foot around. So we're sitting in a cross-legged position with the left foot in front of the right here. And take a few circles, circling out the sacrum, and hips here. Circles can be big, or they can be really little. If you have any sensitivity in your low back and you don't want any big movements, try little circles here. Let's change the direction. Might even, if you're going for the big circles, you really push off of one knee and then the other. Get into the shoulders here. Great. And then coming to center, feeling that long, straight spine, arms lift, elbow, shoulders lift, shoulder blades come down on the back without gripping. Nice, gentle alignment down the back. Feel that support from the heart here in this seated position. And it calls for strength and core just to sit like this, right? Inhale, let's lift the arms. Exhale, hands come to the floor in front. And notice here, notice the opening along the low back. You have more room to go. You might inhale and exhale, walk your hands a little bit farther in front. This is one of those poses that you don't have to go far, but if you wait, pause, you can feel amazing opening happening. Allow your chin to relax towards your chest. If this is hard on your knees, you can do this Also from a wide leg seated position, just rolling forward and feeling the opening in your low back. Don't force it if you're having sensitivity in your knees or it's too much on your hips to sit in that position. Find a modification that works for you. Every inhale, you might straighten the spine, and exhale, you might find you're able to release a little bit more. Allow your chin to go. Can you relax your jaw? Can you relax the muscles around your eyes? Inhale, slowly, slowly walk our hands back, torso lifts. Pause, notice. And then feet are going to come back to the mat, hip width distance apart. We'll windshield wipe our legs again. Rocking side to side. Knees will drop to the left. Right hand comes to right hip. And we're going to rock that right hip back and forth. Might feel really different from one side to the other. That is the beautiful imperfections of our body. And then bringing that motion to close, left hand will plant on the mat about 6 inches in front of the left knee. Right hand extends behind, sweeping up through that sea of prana, lifting, feeling a nice big stretch along the right side of the body. Exhale, left knee comes back to the ground, warming everything up here. Inhale brings us to the lift. Feel the shoulders, shoulder blades coming together, supporting the heart and back body. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweeping through prana. Might come up to fingertips this time, a little taller, really allowing your heart to open towards the sky. Feeling that opening on the left front side of the right hip. And exhale. Come around to hands and knees. And if you have a strap handy, or if you have a t-shirt, this might be a good time to use that. If you have sensitivity shoulders and it's hard for you to grasp your hands behind your back. If not, we'll be taking an inhale, exhale, hands come behind the back, grasping, and fingers interlace. Inhale, chest lifts. Keep a slight bend to the elbows here. Just feel here in this opening in the chest. And you just even a micro movement of slightly bringing the ribs back in so we're not jutting the ribs forward. Feeling those ribs engaged. Heart is extending, reaching out, but so supported by the nest of lungs and ribs and spine. Let's exhale and just release our hands and shake that out, roll the shoulders. I'm going to demonstrate the next phase of this posture for anyone who's not familiar with it. And this might be something you just choose not to do. You might just choose to stay in that first version with opening of shoulders, feeling shoulder blades come back on the back. If you would like to go farther, you can roll forward here on an exhale. I'm going to just demo here for now. And then I'm rolling to the crown of my head. I want to be careful not to over roll here and overextend the neck and the spine. The crown of the head is just where you would
feel like that string pulling you to have a long, straight spine. And from here, I can really allow the shoulders to open. So we'll breathe here, and then rolling back on the forehead brings us back to seated position. So let's try that. So we'll inhale, hands come straight out in front. Exhale, hands come to back. You might find the opposite interlace of fingers. Inhale, extending, keeping a slight bend to the elbows and allowing, making sure the ribs aren't jutting forward. Inhaling here, exhaling, rolling forward to the forehead. This might be as far as you go, just coming down to the forehead, or rolling to the crown of the head, inviting breath into the shoulders. Breathing here, feeling this connection of the crown on the earth, allowing that healing energy of the earth to enter through the crown. Exhale, let's roll to the forehead, brings us back to seated position, allowing the arms to release, and pause here. This is a very powerful pose. Allow it to wash over you. Find ourselves in postures with our head below our heart. We're inviting our heart wisdom to have more prominence in our life over our brains. Staying with this exploration of heart opening, shoulder postures. Transition here through a few cat and cows. So your own pace. Like inhale, cow pose, allowing the belly to drop and exhaling into cat. I add some belly rolls here, some circles in the hips. Your organic movement. And we will explore camel, just a very gentle version of camel. So come to standing on your knees. Knees are about hip width apart. And finding, like when you're standing, finding that neutral alignment for your pelvis, where you're not having too much of a sway back and you're not rounding forward too much. Explore here a little forward and back movement to find that nice strong alignment where your core is engaged. You can almost feel your low ribs connecting to the front of your pelvis to give that nice gentle engagement. And then shoulders lift towards ears and then rolling shoulder blades back. I really want to emphasize that this is not about jutting your chest forward, and that's like, I think was taught in yoga for a long time, this really kind of pulling the shoulder blades back together. Not that. You might try that and feel that to know like, oh, that's not where we're going. So we're lifting shoulders towards the ears, rolling shoulder blades back. And then it's like the shoulders just slip into place on the back in a way that makes you feel like you're present and engaged. You're not here disconnected, right? You're present and engaged, belly, lower ribs are tucked in towards the pelvis. And from here, let's bring our hands to hips. You might find that we bring fingertips towards your butt and thumbs come around the sides of your hips. That's a nice place to be. So from here, this position, you can almost create a little traction in your spine, get even more of a lift. We're lifting here, and this, I love the image of the nest for the heart, like, right? We're offering our hearts into the world from a strong foundation. We're not just bringing ourselves willy-nilly in every direction. We're standing here with purpose and presence and wisdom, bringing our hearts into the way. Allow your gaze to look towards the sky. Full camels in your practice. You may go there, but the rest of us are just going to stay here, feeling this really strong. This requires a lot of engagement in the core. We'll inhale, bringing it back towards neutral, and exhale, sitting back on your heels. If this is hard to do, you might put a pillow between your legs, up legs. Rest here. Allow the work of camel pose to wash it. And coming back to hands and knees. Drawing the curl toes under, lifting up into first downward dog. And then walking out heels. Like to bend the knees deeply and drop both my heels to the right. Really bend my knees. My knees are like coming really close to the ground, and that gives me a nice stretch from my left armpits and my left hip. Now in the center, spinning my heels around to the left. Bend in the knees. You can almost feel a little bounce and aliveness here. Stretch on the right side. Inhaling. Let's walk our feet forward. Front of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Keep bending the knees here. Rolling one shoulder at a time. Kind of reminds me of like an elephant. Rolling yourself to standing. Yeah, now for first standing posture, find that engagement. Shoulders lift towards your ears. Settle into those slots right down on the back. Low ribs tuck in. Low ribs towards pelvis. Knees slightly bent. Fingertips alive. Your mountain pose. I really feel here that my heart, I'm presenting my heart to the world here. It feels like I'm doing it with a great foundation, that I can have the courage to go to the world. Inhale here, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold, deep bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, hands can come to shins. And out, breathe out. Exhale, stepping back into plank pose. Holding plank here. If chaturanga is in your practice, you can move chaturanga. The rest of us will drop our knees to the ground, bending elbows in towards the chest. Chest comes to the ground, toes uncurl. Elbows towards low ribs. Inhale to low cobra. Exhale, toes curl under, lifting into downward dog. A few breaths here in downward dog. Finding your fingertips engaged, taking some weight out of the wrists. Lift, left leg lifts, and left foot drops towards the right. Opening, big opening in the front side of the left hip. Notice if all your weight has moved into your left hand, can you shift that back? Sorry, all your weight moved into your right hand, shift the weight back into the left. And make some circles here with that left knee. And then dropping the hips, so the hips are level. Inhale and exhale, left foot steps between the hands. Right knee comes to the ground. Toes can still be curled under. And we'll inhale. Both hands. Exhale. We'll grab our right wrist with left hand, side bend to the left. Be careful not to over pull in that right shoulder. Big stretch through that right front hip. Exhale, hands come to the ground. Let's lift into lunge position, rocking back and forth here. Right knee lifts, rocking back and forth. Feeling a little mobility here. You might move your hips from side to side. Feeling this deep lunge. We'll step the left foot back into downward dog. And little bend to the knees, right foot lifts, right foot drops to the left. Feeling that opening, big opening in the right front hip. Move the weight back into the right hip if you've moved, sorry, right hand if you've moved all the way into the left. And add some circles here in the right foot. Big circles. One direction and then the next. Inhaling at center. Exhaling, stepping right foot forward between the hands. Left knee comes to the ground. Inhale, both hands lift. Exhale, right hand grasps left wrist. Side to the right. Ooh-wee. I feel that in my left hip. So backing off here if there's so much sensation, back off, and I'm still really engaged in this pose, but there's just more room for blood to flow, for prana to flow. And let's exhale, hands coming to the ground. Just rock here first. We'll do similar rocking in this forward to back in this low lunge position. Maybe swaying hips side to side. And bending that left knee, kind of bring a little bounce to it. We're going to bounce that left foot up with levity, feeling some lightness. To both feet are standing together in front of the mat. We'll inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, both arms lift to standing. Exhale, hands move through prayer position, coming to the heart. And notice here. Shake it out now. Add a little more prana flow here. So wherever you are on your mat, let your legs shake out, one leg and the other, and arms shake out. Let's add a few breaths of joy here. It's such a beautiful day. So breath of joy. We'll keep our legs a little wider than hip width apart and knees stay really bent. Slight smile on the face. And there, with breath of joy, there are 3 sips of air in. We are sipping, 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 and then we do a big exhale. And the 3 arm positions that go with those sips of air are arms come forward, arms come to the side, arms come forward. And the exhale, we do a forward fold. Now, if you have any sensitivity in your low back, your exhale might just be right here. You don't have to bend over at all. You might be bending all the way over. And when we exhale, we say, ha. Let everything out. Everything you've been holding, all that tension and motion in your hips, let it out with your ha. Okay, let's try it. Remember, smile. Okay, we'll sip some air in. Inhale, 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 ha. Inhale, 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 ha. Are you smiling? Inhale, inhale, ha. 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 Last one.
Ha. And find some stillness. Allow your eyes to close. Stillness with movement. This is life. We are always moving. Hearts are always beating. Even when we're feeling the most stuck, there's movement and potential for clearing that energy out. So let's bring our feet wide apart now. Wide leg forward. We'll do moving into wide leg forward fold. So slight bend to the knees. Hands can come to the hips to start. We'll inhale here and exhale. Forward fold. You might just be up here if you have a lot of tightness in your hamstrings or you have sensitivity in your hips. If this is feeling uncomfortable, you might shorten your stance and just come here and allow, wherever you are, allow your knee. You have a block or prop handy, and that would be useful to come up on here. Just pop. Allowing your chin to release so you're not holding your head up as important. Wherever you are, your choice. You can stay here in stillness, or you may choose to add some rocking motion into lunges here. So hands can walk to one side and then walk to the other. We're getting into that upper inner hip area, groin area here. So this is really so varies for every body that you have to make the choice that works for you. If it's in your practice to lower into a lunge in this position and that would feel really good to you, you can do that. You might walk your hands out forward. I find this is an incredibly good stretch for the Achilles, but only if your knee allows it. It also is great for hamstring on your extended left leg in this form. You might rock back and forth. Allow the chin to release. And then with support, coming back up and moving to the other side. So finding your lunge or just moving through your hips. Maybe some hip circles. If this is not right for your body, toes can extend to the side if you're in the low lunge. Head release it. From here, we're going to find our way in a lunge position towards the back of the mat and moving into pigeon pose. So if pigeon is in your practice, you might find your left knee is moving towards the left side of your mat and walking your right toes back until you find yourself in an upright pigeon pose. If pigeon is not in your practice, you can move to figure 4 stretch on your back. I'll demonstrate that in a minute. So here we are, upright pigeon, a blanket or something behind your left hip if that works in your body. That would feel good. Coming down to elbows, and maybe to fists stacked. Allow your head to release to your hands. And I like to take a minute or a few seconds to really kind of wiggle those right toes back. Find the alignment in my right leg. Making sure that I'm not rolling so far out onto the left hip. And then I release my toes and settle in. You might feel like there are sirens going off in your left hip right now. Our favorite story about pigeon pose. The class
What to do it on the other side? So good. Other side. Let me just, okay, so settling in here, and we're going to bring ourselves to our hands. Allow that right toe to curl under. And let's just roll onto the left hip here and move through some windshield wipers. Stretch the left side body. Then we'll bring ourselves back around into table pose, tabletop pose, curl under, and downward dog. And lift the right leg, right side. You're going into pigeon pose, you can find your way there. If pigeon pose isn't working for you, figure four stretch gets to the same muscle areas. Lying on your back, would lift the right leg in this case. Right ankle comes to left knee. This might be enough for you, or you could lift into figure four stretch on the right side. Wonderful stretch for that right glute. That works for your body this morning. Pigeon pose, bringing stillness to your posture. Allowing prana to wash through your heart. And finding your way out of pigeon pose. Come back to hands and knees for a minute. Rock your hips from side to side. And then finding your way onto your back. Shavasana. You might choose to have a pillow under your legs for Shavasana. Doesn't everybody have 14-year-old boys on the trampoline behind them in yoga class? No, really? I'm hoping that sounds, joyful sounds are meditative for your Shavasana today. So find yourself into a relaxed pose on the ground, allowing your hands to come to the sides, side body, or on your belly. Be rocking your ankles and legs from side to side to find neutral alignment for your hips and your sacrum on the ground. Rocking your head from side to side, finding a spot for your head to release. And settling in here. Allowing your breath to settle. Outside, feeling breeze on your skin. Um, find some backing. Out your wrist. Finding your way back. Thumbs touching heart, heart. This position, we are reminded that through our hearts, we bring our own unique world. We are supported by our structure, by all of our gifts. Serve our light at a time when it's needed. So, taking time to acknowledge the light within me, bows to the light within each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing this morning. I really appreciate you guys showing up on Saturday morning. And I will not be here next Saturday. We're headed back out on another sea kayaking trip. But I will send a reminder email about that. And I am here if anybody has any questions, or anybody who'd like to stay to do a short breathing and meditation practice. I will be offering that after this.
So Sheila, just so that you know, are we still on mute?
No, you're not on mute, Sheila. Yep.
So the sound at times went about only like a quarter of it, like 20% of the time, went in and out. It was almost like you were underwater or something. So, and but other times it was super clear. So I don't know if it was like the position of your head or your internet. So it's something to
Oh,
maybe experiment with someone at home and see. Maybe you're a little far. Like when you're here, you're totally clear. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yep. That's a good feedback. Thank you.
yeah.
I know I so desperately want to be outside, but it does provide technological challenges.
I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
and like I said, most of the time you could hear and you could always see. So it wasn't like that challenging, but I just wanted to give you that feedback.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sheila. I appreciate it. Yeah. Great. So if you have to run, thank you so much for coming. And if you'd like to, bye, Martha. Thank you. Bye,
Thanks,
Jen. Bye,
Gio.
Carolyn. So glad you could make it, Carolyn.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Okay. Bye. Great. So would you guys like to learn a new breath practice? I have one that I really love, and Christina at First Parish has taught this breath practice. I think you guys will like it a lot. It's called the Kirtan Kriya, and it's a great breath practice for relieving anxiety, and it also helps with memory. Actually, this breath practice is promoted by the Alzheimer's Foundation as a practice to help with improving memory. So we can all use that, right? Why not? So it's we will keep our hands on our knees when we do it, but I'll just keep my hands up to show you that we're taking 4 sips of breath with each time we touch our finger to almost a full inhale. So it's a sip, inhale, 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 exhale back at the index finger. So it sounds like this if you can hear it. It sounds like. So the goal is not to be so full of air that it's uncomfortable. Nothing about these breath practices are supposed to be uncomfortable. If you find yourself working too hard at it, it's a good reminder to just stop and take a breath and get yourself back to your natural breath. So inhale, 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 exhale. Now there is a silent mantra that you say to yourself when you do this that's breaking down the phrase Sat Nam is used in yoga and meditation a lot. It's Sat Nam means I am truth. It's supposed to call forward our truth in our meditation practice. And so we're breaking down the phrase Sat Nam into its syllable parts, I guess. So the way it's done is we say, in silent to ourselves, say Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. That's Sat Nam all kind of broken out. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, and then exhale. So it's a lot to remember. I'll walk us through it when we start, and then we'll just practice it on our own. I'll pipe in with some tips in the middle, but the idea is that we'll practice it for a few minutes and then we'll move into meditation. And I invite you to not hold on to it so tightly that it becomes uncomfortable. If you find yourself uncomfortable, just come back to your natural breath and start over. And then just notice when we move into meditation, just notice how you're feeling, and if you feel a little bit different than other times you meditate or anything you might notice, I'll be curious after we do it. So your hands can be relaxed on your lap. Find a seated position that works for you and your body so that you have a nice straight spine. You might have support under your knees, pillows or blankets under your knees can be a really nice way to support yourself. And then we'll start with, I'm just lifting my hands to demonstrate, or your hands are on your lap. So we'll do an inhale together and an exhale. And then we'll start inhaling sa, ta, na, ma, exhale. Sa, ta, na, ma, exhale. Little sips of air. You might find that as we're starting this, you might feel a little dizzy, which is a signal just to stop and to find your center, your natural breath. And when you start again, you might start more slowly. Sa, ta, na, ma, exhale. Sa, ta, na, ma. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 inhale. Keep going at your own pace, taking breaks if you need it. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. So you can bring that breath practice to a close, and we'll move right into meditation. I'm going to mute myself. We'll sit in meditation here for just 3 minutes, and inviting you to notice how you feel after that breath practice, and allowing thoughts to move through like clouds in the sky, not getting attached, just noticing and letting them go. So bringing your hands back to heart center, or your chin drop, head bows to the heart. Acknowledging yourself for making this time today to nurture yourself, build strength and compassion, bring into the world. Namaste.